spoil the shit out of it. And my God, we got a loaded house. New York State Music, Willdband, and the mighty Fisk fucking Vegas. Joe from FallenOne Gaming, give me that countdown.
In 5, 4,
and my God,
3,
we got
2,
a loaded house.
1.
Get over here! Hi, I'm martial art master Daniel Pacino. You know me as the original Johnny Cage, Scorpion, Sub-Zero, Reptile, and Smoke. You are tuning in to NerdCage Live on YouTube, Twitter, Twitch. Don't miss an episode or you'll get caged. So let's finish him.
NerdCage Live and gaming are a perfect match.
Shoot the J, Joe.
Okay.
Shoot it!
All right.
Over on NerdCage Live on Twitch, Jay and Joe go live.
Call me Bazooka Joe.
It's all about you.
Kaboom!
Playing both old school and new school games every Tuesday night. Ooh, what a sight!
Jay, stop looking at her face and run.
But she's so beautiful.
So be sure to follow NerdCage Live on Twitch.
Run for your life, Joe. Run for your life, Joe.
Running.
Run faster. Oh no, Joe. The galaxy's doomed because of you.
To scratch your gaming itch.
Oh, nice kick, Joe.
Thank you.
About
Yo, that's diabolical.
humanity.
Wait. Yo!
That's twitch.tv/NerdCage Live.
This is Anthony Marquez, better known as Kung Lao for Mortal Kombat. Make sure to like and subscribe to NerdCage Live. Be there. Us.
Hey, what's going on? I'm Jay St. G,
And I'm Joe from FallenOne Gaming.
and we have a special message from NerdCage Live and NerdCage Live Gaming, because we know a lot of y'all like the game, right? Well, we decided here at NerdCage that we wanted to give away something special. A big thank you. Not only a thank you, but we need your help too. Joe, what is it that we're giving away?
We are giving away an Xbox Series X.
Yes! Brand new! See? Right here, still sealed. We are giving this sucker away. But in order for us to give this away, we need your help. Get us to 1,500 subscribers and we will give this away.
If you guys get us to 1,500 subscribers, this can be all yours.
United States and Canada only. We're not shipping all over the world, all right?
Yeah.
So here's how this is gonna happen. Get us to 1,500 subscribers, and then we're gonna release another video on how you can enter. This is not gonna be the only giveaway. So the first prize, obviously, will be the Xbox Series X, brand new, shipped right to you. Second prize will be a digital $100 gift card from Amazon.
Third place will be a $50 digital Amazon card.
Now listen, if you get us to 1,500 subscribers, just maybe, we'll do another giveaway. 1,500 subscribers, and this bad boy can be yours. Keep it tuned to NerdCage Live when we release the second video on how to enter once we hit 1,500 subscribers.
Hi, I'm Leah Montalongo, the OG Sindel. Please like, subscribe to NerdCage Live.
Greetings, citizens. You're now trapped in a nerd cage. We hope you have a smashing good time.
You're now about to witness the strength of geek knowledge. Yes. Hello and welcome. That's right. Once again, you are trapped in NerdCage Live. This channel is a celebration of all things pop culture, including yours truly, Black Panther. Please hit that like button and subscribe if you're new to the channel. I am your co-host, J. St. Motherfucking G, certified geek, 7 days a week, coming to you live from yours truly, the land of Tom Cruise, Syracuse, New York. And we have a hell of a panel today, but I'm going to let the moderator and Trollhammer, who's stronger than the DK Banana Slammer, Joe from FallenOne Gaming. What do we got going on tonight?
Tonight we will be spoiling the hell out of Wakanda Forever with our boys Pete Mason from New York State Music and Willdband and Fisk Vegas.
All right.
Sup.
All right, but Joe, before we go any further, who do we got in the chat?
In the chat tonight we have the Petty Cash Podcast, we have Doomzilla, and we have our boy Derek.
All right, guys, thanks for stopping in. I definitely appreciate you guys stopping by. And, yeah, spoiler panel galore tonight. Real quick, we're going to go around in the circle. And what we're going to do is everyone's going to plug themselves in. And whatever you guys got coming up, by the way, links are in the description. Please sub all these guys up. Let these guys plug themselves in, and they're all going to give their general thoughts, not a rating. Don't give a rating yet. But give your general thoughts of the movie. And then Joe's going to moderate all the topics, and we'll go from there. So we'll start. We'll go counterclockwise, and we will start with Mr. Pete Mason of NewYorkStateMusic.com.
How you doing, everybody? Pete Mason, New York State Music. I also run fan art. We got a big Jam for Todd series coming up around New York State. So if you're in any of the major cities or even some of the small hill towns in the country and in the state of New York, we got a lot of charitable events coming up and some live music shows for you. But make sure to check out nysmusic.com for all the up-to-date news and events and features about all the artists across New York State and beyond. I absolutely love Wakanda Forever. I was looking forward to going back to school today for the simple reason of chatting with my students to see who saw it, who didn't, and who I could drop a little knowledge on. So if you're tuning in tonight, kids, good to see you.
Excellent. And Fisk Vegas, the muscle of the Giants community, man. How you doing? Plug whatever you want to plug, man. And of course, general thoughts on the movie.
Hey, what's good? It's the hardest voice of sports, the muscle of the Giants community, Fisk Vegas. And go sub to all my channels. Fisk Vegas Blue, General Fisk. Go hit those up. Got videos daily. Giants Outsiders every Wednesday with Cop Pizzle. Every Sunday, my Blood Money NFL recaps with my man RJ. Go check all that out. And as far as the movie goes, great movie, horrible superhero movie. Great film. It's a great film. But as far as superhero movies go, it's deplorable, terrible, and bad for the culture, too. But go ahead.
And it's the wild man from the land of the sand, Willdband. Love to hear your thoughts, and of course, plug yourself in. I know you have a new podcast as well.
Yeah, so you can find me my usual spot, Willdband. I still appear on the Monstrosities channel every once in a while. But now, it's been a while since I've been on here, but now I have a podcast. Me and my three friends, we have a podcast called Petty Cash Podcast. If you're a Ghostbusters fan, you may recognize that title. We're now like 20 plus episodes strong. We're still currently only on YouTube, but we're working on getting approved for Spotify and Apple Podcasts. For the movie, I can say I really like this. I'd say it's just as good, if not slightly better than the first movie.
Oh, wow.
And like the acting is probably one of the strongest things in this movie.
All right, we'll take it. All right, Joe, I want to hear your general thoughts
And of course, please tell everybody about the videos that we got up and our Twitch streams coming up.
Yes. So, me and you went to see this together. I think I'm gonna put this at middle of the road. You know, I liked it, but you know, I will say it's probably like you've been telling me, the best of the post Endgame era, but it isn't saying much. So I did like parts of it, but it's got some glaring plot holes in it, and you know, I just can't overlook them. So we're gonna have an interesting discussion, to say the least. As for stuff that we have going on, we have Derek's video, the Godzilla versus Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. His review of that comic is up on YouTube now, so go ahead and check that out. Our unboxing video of the PS5 Collector's Edition of Gotham Knights.
Speaking of Gotham Knights,
we are playing every Tuesday on Twitch. Twitch.tv/NerdCage Live. So go ahead and check those out every Tuesday. And every Friday, we're playing Donkey Kong 64.
yes,
So
last
sure
barrel blast from the past.
Yes.
All right, so I'm kind of with Joe on here. Like, there are some stuff about this movie I like, but for everything I like, there's also a big glaring dislike. So the movie was middle of the road for me. Not the best from Marvel, but I think it's far from the worst. Best post-Endgame movie. I'm not counting Spider-Man because that's Sony. If we're going to count Spider-Man, then we're going to throw Morbius in there too. But I think post-Endgame, this is the best MCU movie. And like I said, there's some things to like about it. There are some missed opportunities, and we're going to get into it. But also, while I have everybody here, to have everybody's attention, something I haven't put the promo together, but I want to promote it right now. Please, mark your calendars for Saturday, December 17th, as we are going to be doing a charity live stream. That's right. We are going to be doing cheesy movies for charity. We're going to be watching terrible cheesy movies that we enjoyed. But while we watch these movies, we're going to try to raise money for St. Jude's Children's Research Hospital. It's my favorite charity. All right, I want to do something nice for the Christmas season. I want to do something nice before I die. I want to use my platform for good for once in my fucking life. That being said, starting at noon on December 17th, we're going to be watching, in order, Street Fighter the movie. Then we're going to watch Superman 4. Then we're going to watch Godzilla's Revenge. Then we're going to watch, God help me, Mortal Kombat Annihilation. And then we're going to end the night on the highest note possible as we watch Batman and Robin. So please, if you're able to donate, even if it's just $1, by all means, please. We're going to try to raise at least $500, but I believe in NerdCage Nation, I believe we can raise more than $500, but we're going to aim for $500 minimum. So please mark your calendars. Again, Saturday, December 17th, starting at noon Eastern Standard Time. Marathon of Cheesy Movies watch party. Join in on the fun. Donate if you can. Pretty please and thank you. That being said, gentlemen, Joe, kick this shit off, man. What are we going to start with?
Let's just start with the opening scene.
All right, guys, just let your nuts hang. We don't have to go in order anymore. So, opening scene. Who wants to just let it go?
Go ahead. This movie just starts. It immediately goes. The opening scene. I heard like, oh yeah, like it mimics like the opening scene of the first Black Panther movie. So I was going in kind of expecting like seeing like Shuri or the Queen Ramonda just on like a Wakandan jet heading home, hearing the news of T'Challa's death. Nope, we immediately hear Shuri like freaking out, like, hey, we gotta get this going, gotta make sure everything works, because T'Challa is dying at the beginning of the movie. He's not dead yet. So the fact that we got to hear him die at the beginning of the movie was a little shocking. I expected to see the funeral near the beginning of the movie, but I didn't expect to hear him die in the movie, even though we don't hear or see him die, but still like, oh, yeah, your brother's with the ancestors now. Like, oh, okay.
Yeah, that was quite a shock, because I thought it was just going to open with the funeral. The fact that it just they had that scene. I mean, I'll give it that. That's like one of the I should say positive because it's such a dreary scene, but it's an emotional scene and it really like set the tone for the whole movie and like and it was touching. It was. I mean, I don't know what Pete, Fisk, if you guys want to chime in on the opening scene here.
I thought that even just before the opening scene, the Marvel intro this time, there was no music. It was almost somber, and it's every clip of Chadwick from previous films, and that kind of set the tone. And then boom, right into the more or less emergency room that Shuri's in, working on a cure for him, and then she can't be with him, and that lingers until that final scene just before the credits, and she doesn't get the closure because she wasn't there with him. I thought that was pretty powerful. And then we saw in the trailer the funeral scene, and they brought together something that's found that it hinted at Haiti being a location later on, because it was very somber, dealing with the death, and then they had a second line, which you find in New Orleans, and all the Creole culture that comes from New Orleans can be found in Haiti. And it was a fun thing to explain to a student today, was that you have your somber, you have your death, you deal with the passing, and then the second line is when you're returning from the funeral and the burial and you're celebrating life. And that's what they were doing. And that hit hard, because that was Ryan Coogler touching on a lot of Black culture right there. And it was, playing to a wider diaspora of African culture around the world, and then kind of hinting at it, and then getting to Haiti later on. So I thought the intro set a tone and caught the eye of myself right away.
Yeah, Joe, Fisk, thoughts on the opening scene.
Oh, I thought that it was sad. It was a little sad when I saw him on the montage. So what happened is, once I saw Chadwick Boseman, his Marvel montage, a little flashback they did, it made me understand why they didn't recast him. You can't replace his presence. You can't replace that energy that he brought to the character. So I get why they didn't recast him. But if I'm Chadwick Boseman's family, I don't like that scene. Why would you make me relive that again? You make the guy pass away from a disease on film, even though he passed away from a disease in real life. I didn't like that. I thought they was doing too much. I think Marvel lately has been, Marvel went from being the funny company and DC being the dark, grimy company to now Marvel's trying to make everybody cry in every freaking movie. We had that junk in Spider-Man Homecoming, and now we got this. Okay, enough Marvel. We don't need to cry. That's why Thor: Love and Thunder I liked it. Bring the jokes back. Like, this whole emotional stuff, everything got to be so heavy lately. Like, relax. All right, leave that to DC. You feel me? That's not why I fell in love with Marvel. So I didn't like it. They didn't have to kill the guy on screen to open the movie. And then what kills me the most is you kill the guy on screen to open the movie, and then it's like it doesn't happen. They just jump straight into Neymar. They jump straight into the movie. It's as if it was a writing. And y'all are all familiar with films and how they're structured and how they're written. Yeah. You can tell that was just written into the movie. That's not, they continue with the original script right after that scene.
Actually, I'm glad you brought that up, because one thing I want to point out, maybe a lot of people don't know this. By all means, watch the Joe Blow celebrity interview with Nate Moore, the producer. I edit that, shameless plug. But one of the glaring things, and you could tell, and this is why I think the movie had odd pacing, is there were 2 scripts written for the movie. One before Chadwick Boseman died, and one after. Then Disney, the mighty Disney, and Kevin Feige came in and said, you know what? I want to take both of these scripts and mesh them together and make it into one single movie the best you can. And Fisk, since you just alluded to that, I'm wondering that that was like one of the things that I almost felt like that that maybe you're right. Maybe that was kind of like forced in there. And another thing I kind of disagree with. I understand we go to Marvel for the jokes and shit, but that's just it. Like, I'm tired of all the Marvel jokes. I'm tired of like the Marvel formula. So it gets really like, I don't know. It gets really dry for me to the point where it just gets annoying. So having this movie kind of like lean, I mean, there were jokes. They got their jokes off a few times, but I'm glad that they didn't lean as hard on the jokes in this particular movie, which was kind of a nice, fresh breath air, you know?
I can agree with that. For me, like, the jokes landed more often than not in this particular movie than as opposed to, let's say, Multiverse of Madness, where it was a more straight Marvel movie that had like their typical humor spread throughout the film. Whereas this was just a well-made film that happened to be a superhero movie that had nice doses of humor spread throughout the movie. Like, it wasn't like, oh, like the next 5 minutes has jokes and then like we'll go another hour. But no, it's like every, like, I want to say like every 30 minutes, maybe like every 15 minutes, we had a decent joke. And it landed for me.
I think Marvel's problem right now is balance, because they're either too heavy on humor or too heavy on the somberness, and they don't know how to do the dark and gritty yet. It's more, they just kind of float emotion into it and hope that's going to make it dark. That just makes people cry. It doesn't really make it a dark tone that you can kind of feel and be immersed in. It's, if you just put, emotion into it like that, it's not going to give the same feeling that DC usually does. So they're still working on it. I'm hoping they get better at it, but right now it's just not hitting in the right way.
Agreed. And the thing is, what DC does great is it's natural. They're not forcing it. It's the tone is the Dark Knight tone resonated through Man of Steel. It resonated through Batman vs Superman. What Marvel has to understand is the reason why DC does dark so good is because it's based in reality. When you watch the Batman movie that we saw earlier this year, which is still the best comic book movie of the year, by the way. Agreed. I think the Batman won comic book movie for me anyway. Yes. It's grounded in reality, so it can be dark and gritty and it not feel overdone. When you're killing, can we say not spill Spider-Man Homecoming spoilers? Is that okay?
We already did that. We already did spoilers. So go ahead.
So when you kill Aunt May, and then you got all three Spider-Mans having some group therapy session about dead people, like you're forcing. When you go and you try and build a whole script around Wanda trying to get her children, but you can't have them, you're forcing it. When you have Black Widow, her parents are like feeding her into Russian spy slavery, you're forcing it. When you kill Chadwick Boseman of a disease that he just died from, and then you kill his mother an hour later, you're forcing it. Enough, Marvel. Stop.
I do agree. I think
trying to get us to cry, Marvel.
Not to jump too far ahead, but I do think it was a weird decision to kill off Queen Ramada, Angela Bassett,
I can agree with that.
who was the best part of that movie. And the fact that they killed her off, she carried the movie.
Angela Bassett, like, I know superhero movies don't get recognized too often. Me too, man. Her. Me too. She's an amazing actress, and she is not too shabby to look at either.
Yeah.
But
Courtney
like,
B. Vance is a lucky man. Just saying.
Well, like, seriously,
and when you kill a person like that, you kill them with class. Okay, when you kill Angela Bassett, it's supposed to be up close, personal, and gritty. It's not supposed to be drowned her and Neymar's watching from 100 feet away. Come on, man.
I'll give the death this though. It was a selfless death. She at least died saving someone. So I can at least give the death that.
They tried to get us to cry. See, they're doing it again. Oh my gosh. She died trying to save a young child.
The problem is they're gonna do a third movie. I think it's inevitable they're gonna do a third movie.
They better not.
No, they probably will, but now with no Chadwick Boseman and no Angela Bassett now, I can't see. No offense, I don't think Shuri can carry this franchise, and that's why
I don't think we have to worry about Shuri carrying the franchise because they gave us the future of the franchise in the final scene.
We're gonna have very true. Go back to that, but yeah.
That's set up, and I got a theory I'll share later on that. But I thought that Angela Bassett's character, first movie, she held her presence there. This one, it was from the beginning much more powerful. From the UN scene, having two white countries, two white people talking down to her, and then she drops the, hey, come on in with the guys I just captured yesterday.
And
That
make 'em
was
bow.
just what a slap in the face to that. I questioned her death right away. I was like, no, come on. No way. They put the beads on her chest. Like, come on, this can't be. The only reason I can see them killing her off was because when Shuri went to the afterlife in that scene, she ends up meeting Killmonger. She couldn't meet Chadwick. They weren't gonna do a hologram, archive thing of him.
Yeah.
But they had her later on, and that was the show him who you are. Show him who you are. Without her dying, she doesn't get to say that and bring that back from the first movie. And I think that's like the only reason they were like, well, we can't just let her live. Like, she can be in a hospital bed or something, but I wasn't for it, but it was a great way to end the second act of the film.
I think the other reason that they did that is because Black Panther is supposed to be, king or queen or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So if you have a queen already and you have a Black Panther, it doesn't make sense to have a queen and a Black Panther unless, there's a succession thing or something like that. So to kill her off makes Shuri queen. I think that might have had something to do with it.
I see where you're coming from, Joe. By the way, Joe, Joe, just for the record, the chat's not working in Streamlabs, so please keep up with the chat because I can't see it.
I can
my
see
phone,
it.
though.
Yeah.
But Joe, I just want to point something out before we kind of move on. Then we can move on from the opening scene. But so Joe, being Joe.
Yeah, I was gonna mention this. You can go
Well, first and foremost, I gotta rip the movie real quick. Why the fuck were the coffins CGI? It was glaring.
Wait, they were CGI.
You didn't notice that?
I didn't notice.
Oh,
No.
what?
I didn't notice.
Maybe my eyes trained better than most people, but the CGI coffins was a glaring problem. On top of that, listen, I hate to bring up a dark moment in my life, but I've carried a coffin before. There's no way those women are able to carry the coffin up
here. Yeah.
No fucking way. I can bench press more than all those women put together ×2. Just saying, not to brag. But there's no way you carry a coffin up here. It was glaring CGI problem, just like the rhinos in the first movie. They couldn't afford to make a Black Panther coffin, Disney. You had to CGI that coffin. And then Joe, everybody's crying in the movie theater, right? Everybody's crying in the movie theater. Joe being Joe, go ahead, tell me about our Twitch moment.
All right, so in our Twitch moments, every time something monumental happens, we go like this and say Jesus, right? Well,
Jesus.
as the coffin is being raised and beamed into the ship, all of a sudden I have to go Jesus right next to him. And
I just burst out laughing.
Yes.
And there's people crying in the theater. I'm like,
no. Oh yeah, that's me.
See,
That's what I
Will's
do.
laughing because he watches our Twitch streams. Okay, Joe, let's move on.
That's awful, but I love it.
All right, let's move on.
So now we're gonna move on to characters, and I think we're gonna have to start with the main one. We're gonna start with Black Panther. We're gonna start with Shuri.
Who want to go first?
I'll go first. I will say, before we got the full reveal of the new Black Panther, there was one scene that tricked me a little bit. Because
I think you're gonna say the same one that tricked me.
Let's all be real. We all guessed it was gonna be Shuri from the teaser.
Oh, yeah.
We all guessed it was gonna be her. But when Queen Ramonda died, and we had the 3 women and M'Baku around her grave, we saw Shuri, Okoye, and Nakia, and they all had the ceremonial funeral dots around their eyes. And on the new Black Panther mask, they had those dots around the eyes as well. I had a feeling it was gonna be Shuri, but that scene, I was like, wait, could it be one of these 3 instead of just Shuri? Because my original guesses were gonna be Shuri, Nakia, or Okoye, because me personally, the Black Panther, they have to know how to fight. It's okay, Nakia could probably do it. Okoye could easily kick somebody's ass as the Black Panther, but logically and just based on the comics, I knew it more likely had to be Shuri. And then of course when she drops down into the meeting room with M'Baku and the elders, all right, cool. New Black Panther. Let's go.
It's weird. I was confused by a different scene. I was confused by the scene where she's underwater and then her suit materializes and she's got, the glass over it so she can breathe and stuff. But as it's materializing, I thought it was going to be a Black Panther suit. And I was like, Nakia's Black Panther? And then it stops and has that windshield on her face or whatever. And I was like, oh, okay. No, it's not.
Gotcha. Okay. But yeah, no, for me, I had no problems with Shuri being the Black Panther, especially since it shows in this. Yes, she has been given the powers of Black Panther. That doesn't mean she knows how to fight.
That was another thing. Like, she's a gadget girl. She's like James Bond's Q. She can't fight.
She at least incorporated her gadgetry into her new Black Panther suit, and that did help her in the fight. But again, she's not a fighter. She's not a warrior. She barely held her own against Namor.
Yeah, but I have an explanation for that. Because if you go back to the first Black Panther, when they're doing the ceremony and everything, it tells you that you get all of the experiences of all the ancestors, which would mean you get their fighting experience too.
Still, it just shouldn't just come, like, she's got to learn to, like, harness and learn how to fight. Again, we saw T'Challa and M'Baku battle. Like, it just bothered me. I'm sorry. I didn't like Shuri as Black Panther. I think it's just... She doesn't have that charisma. She lacks the charisma that Chadwick Boseman has, and she's just not a believable Black Panther to me. And it was the execution was just it was a head scratcher for me.
I understand why they did it. I mean, they had to keep it in the family,
just think.
No, they didn't.
M'Baku should have been Black Panther. That's my opinion.
There's nothing that says he couldn't be the next Black Panther after Shuri.
Fisk, what's your take on it? Because I didn't like
Dude,
this.
are y'all scared of the Me Too movement before I go on my rant?
Not at all.
I need to be nice to the females. Alright, so if I got permission to speak freely, let's call it what it is. This is a black chick flick, and it's disgusting. Okay, those female protectors only work because T'Challa was the guy. Once you replace a strong black man with a female lead, now it's a chick flick. Because now you got a whole bunch of girls protecting another girl. And then her sidekick is a girl. Even James Bond had Q. Okay, like there's no male presence in the whole movie. The only strong man we had in the movie gets emasculated every time Shuri talks. Like, this is terrible.
Well,
no, this was bad. The Black Panther is supposed to be a male lead. Period. You give it to a female who was the gadget girl. You didn't even give it to the warrior girl. You give it to the gadget girl, and she plugs in some artificial heart, and now she knows kung fu like Mia. This was BS. This made no sense. And what kills me the most about them giving it to Shuri is the simple fact that you have Michael B. Jordan sitting right there. He fell into the ocean. Nobody saw him die. You have a movie about Atlantis. Bring him back. I don't understand it. Shuri should not be Black Panther.
I just feel like so Fisk, you said like there was no male presence. I thought M'Baku was the best written character in the movie, besides Angela Bassett, was the best written character, and he was the wisest one. He tried to counsel her, and I just thought, like, yes, I'm for this guy. And I'm kind of bummed. I feel like he should have been Black Panther because he almost beat T'Challa in the first movie, and I just think he's got a big presence to him, and I don't feel like Shuri has that presence.
No, because I thought this as well. Like both when, mainly when she had the helmet off, but like looking at Shuri in the Black Panther suit,
it was horrible.
Not that it was horrible. She is really skinny. Like she put on a tiny bit of muscle for the role, but she is really skinny.
Yeah.
And we see her stand next to all these other characters, and you're right. She's tiny. You know.
You mean to tell me the girl who couldn't help out on the bridge when they got attacked, an hour and a half later in the movie is taking down Namor? She couldn't rock with the henchmen on the bridge, but because she created some artificial heart, she's Black Panther. Now, here's another thing too. How do you create an artificial heart an hour and a half after Chadwick Boseman died? So now you get smart Now you get an epiphany, so you couldn't save your brother, but now you found a way to recreate the heart an hour and a half later.
Well, it's a year and an hour and a half later.
To that point,
you gotta give her that.
Yeah, to that point, because Killmonger burned all the heart-shaped plants in the last one, they had trouble recreating it as we saw in the beginning of the movie. But because of the Talokan bracelet that had the similar vibranium plant that gave Namor his people's powers, they were able to replicate a similar purple heart plant from that because they had similar properties. So I'll give her that. She was able to do it because she found the correct material later. But
Will, even that's stupid, Will. You mean to tell me I'm gonna give you some random person I've never met the bracelet of my mother from 500 years ago?
I will say, I will agree with that. Like the second he gave her that bracelet, like, how is that gonna come back? I know that's gonna come back. How is it gonna come back?
Hey, we were just fighting 20 minutes ago, and I kidnapped you here, but this is important to me. Let me have you take this. And it was like, yeah, Will, you're right. It was like, where is this coming up? And right later on, it fits in perfectly, but imperfectly because you had to force that into the conversation.
And then and I'm just tired of Marvel doing this. Like they're forcing. And listen, I'm not against female leads. I'm not against that. But between Captain Marvel, WandaVision, Black Widow, female Thor, like, okay, now you give us a female Black Panther. It's as if Marvel is going out their way to oversaturate us, not including She-Hulk and Ms. Marvel. They're going out their way to oversaturate us with female lead characters. At the end of the day, Black Panther should have been given to Michael B. Jordan. Should have gave it to him. Another guy who could have been Black Panther, my man Hawkeye from Black Adam. He'd been perfect for Black Panther.
You know what's funny? Mark Withers told me the same thing, that if they were to recast the role, Aldous Hodge was his pick.
That's his name for Black Adam?
Yeah. And my pick would have been John David Washington, who's Denzel's son, who looks similar. He does look similar to Chadwick Boseman, where I feel like he could play the role. But yeah, Fisk, I definitely appreciate your strong opinion. And again, I understand your sentiments, but Pete, I want to get your take before we move on. Pete, what is your take on Shuri? Because I know you didn't really get to say your overall thoughts.
I thought Shuri had to play from the beginning, missing her brother's death when she was told, hey, you need to be with your brother. I saw that as just foreshadowing for, something that's going to carry over her throughout the whole film. She was, angry, and there's a few Marvel films that reflects on, and she just, kept the anger up, and then she empathizes with Namor when she gets down there, and then comes back, and she has to have a little struggle, and that doesn't end until Killmonger's there. So her character, I thought, was framed by everybody around her and every scene she was put into. I imagine, I don't know who else they could have made. Okay, we just had this discussion, who else could be Black Panther, but you got to keep it in the family in this case, and they'll continue to do that for the next movie. And I can see her potentially not wanting to give up the mantle of Black Panther, or we have two at once, and then this young 12, 13-year-old Prince T'Challa has to returns to Wakanda, and you might see a struggle between, no, I'm the Black Panther, but you'll get it when it's your turn. And I don't know if that's reflected in the comics, but I thought she was angry and grew, and it was that final scene in her mother's voice just saying, remember who we are, and then she doesn't kill him. I thought grounding Namor in that one scene, cutting off the wings, that was where things shifted. That's the one thing you couldn't compete with, was his flight. Like, he could just take off, and then she fixed that. So I thought there was some growth, but I thought it was a little forced on some things.
Hey, Pete, can I ask you a question?
Sure.
Do you think if they do Black Panther 3, do you think it's a time skip, or do you think we get T'Challa from another world and they replace Shuri with another universe's T'Challa?
I think that I saw somewhere that this would be set in 2025. So I imagine that we get a 5-year gap between now and that, and maybe it's even a couple of years ahead. So I think I'm looking at Prince T'Challa as being 12, 13 years old in the new one, and make him a teenager, maybe the same kid, and that would be an ideal jump ahead, and that can give you I don't know if that lines up with Young Avengers, but he could be one of those. And then you got possibly 3 more Black Panther films with a brand new T'Challa going into the 30s.
I think that also all depends on what they do in Secret Wars, because we know Secret Wars will more than likely, not will be, but more than likely will be a multiversal giant mega fight. So if they decide to bring in another universe as T'Challa, then maybe they'll go that route. Or maybe they won't.
Which is possible. We don't know. I mean,
we'll find out in 3 years.
Or imagine this. Imagine a noble version of Michael B. Jordan's character. Maybe a noble version of Killmonger, where on another Earth he's a good leader and a good guy. That works too.
Could go for that.
Wow.
Yeah, I don't know how far they're going to stretch the multiverse theory, because it seems to be breaking down everywhere. But if they do take it there, we'll see. But I agree. Yeah. And I think I agree with Pete though. I think it's going to be a time skip, and I think it's going to be Prince T'Challa. But the only difference in my prediction is that I think she's going to remember her mother saying, "Remember who we are" or whatever. But she's always been T'Challa's support. Like, that's who she is. And not only that, but I think she's going to realize, Black Panther isn't me, and she's probably going to willingly hand it over to Prince T'Challa, I believe.
That's right. The only thing this movie was missing is I needed Killmonger versus Namor. That's what we needed. That's what the world needed. Killmonger and Namor face to face like a Rock Stone Cold WWE poster for like 30 minutes in a movie. We needed that. I needed dialogue between Namor and Killmonger saying, You come out the water again, I'm gonna clip your wings. That's what we needed. Not this whole going back and forth with Angela Bassett. Like, it wasn't believable.
You could write that into What If Season 2.
Yeah, there you go. Like, I needed to see that. I would have loved to see Namor come out the water in the middle of a Killmonger yoga session or something, and I'd have loved to see him talk that crap to Killmonger. That's what we needed. We needed I don't want to sound so anti-girl right now, but we needed male machismo. We needed a whole lot of. We just needed some spunk in the movie. Okay, we needed mojo. All right, we needed a whole lot of testosterone in that movie. Namor was missing a male to go at. I'm sorry. Namor was so gangster, so thorough, and so just everything I wanted out of a bad guy. But it's like, okay, so in Thor, we got Gore the God Butcher, who they just ruined because he should have been the most diabolical villain ever, but they just ruined that. So you got the great hero in Thor, and then they ruined Gore the God Butcher. And then in Black Panther, they fixed the villain, and then they don't give us a good hero. I'm like, Marvel, like, y'all slipping. You're slipping at this point. Like, I'm so mad at Marvel.
You know what I kind of want to see, now that I think about it, because Namor is like Aztec, right? Like, hundreds of years old.
Yeah!
How about Namor versus Moon Knight?
Ooh.
I'd like to see that.
I actually love it. I'm half Mexican, so I low-key, like, I love Namor.
You are? Yes, he is.
Yes.
He's got the enchiladas to prove it.
All right.
I think, well, why don't we just move on to Namor then?
Absolutely. Again, I was happy because, like, and it's funny, they went with the Golden Age look. I first and foremost, I just want to say I'm still going to lean that I think Aquaman and Atlantis was done better, but the fact that they pulled off the Golden Age look and they casted a Mexican, yes, and to see the Mexicans whoop some ass, I loved it. I loved it. So yeah, I thought I enjoyed the character. I enjoyed like his intensity. That he was violent and intense. A little disappointed that he kind of like you know, got his ass beat and then just said, "Oh yeah, the team up with Wakanda is gonna be the best thing for." I kind of wish they left the war open instead of like him surrendering the way he did.
Kind of did.
So, but I love Namor. What you guys think of? My only problem is why didn't they refer to him as the Submariner? It kind of bothered me.
They probably will in the future. I mean,
to me, he's the Submariner. That's how I like grew up knowing the Submariner. And and fun fact, my dad loves the Submariner. Like, I just wish they referred to him as the Submariner. I know they made the mutant reference. You know, they call him the Ku Khan or whatever, the god, whatever.
The serpent god.
Yeah, but I just wish they referred to him as the Submariner. But
I think
that's
we get that.
not a deal breaker. All right, I'm done. Guys, go.
I think we get that from like if Sam Jackson mentions it, that'll probably be a good way for him to say it. It'll be brought up as kind of like a nickname kind of thing, since they had to emphasize where does the name Namor come from. And of all the things I knew about him, I didn't know the name origin. And I just waited in the movie for something to come up. And the way that they dropped that in with the no love.
Yeah, no love,
like,
yeah.
Well,
I love how
something. Then I looked it up today, and they said his name backwards is Roman. And then that can have a relation to Atlantis. I'll go with the no love one because that he was so intense from the moment that he was on screen, coming in through the water. Which, I mean, if they're at a lake or whatever they were at in the beginning, I don't know how he shows up there, and that was a mystery. And then he drops the machine right next to him and then takes off. That was an excellent tone for him to set. So I thought the character was great. I loved the Mayan culture and all the tie-ins they had to it. They even had they have a version of basketball before.
Oh yeah.
They use giant stones to throw them through. That every little thing that they had was great. But DC Atlantis is better than Talokan. It was brighter in Atlantis. I thought that.
The Ryan Coogler came out and said like, thank God for Aquaman because that movie paved the way for us to do this. They said it straight up. It was in an interview like a couple days ago.
They did it horribly too. That knockoff Atlantis was it wasn't cool. I'm sorry.
The problem is Aquaman DC beat. This is the one time DC beat Marvel to the punch. So
yeah.
the comparison's inevitable.
Although the one glaring thing for me is if both Wakanda and that underwater city there has vibranium, why aren't they both advanced? You know what I mean? If one was able to advance their technology so well with that one mineral, and then the other one just kind of went underwater and that's it, wouldn't they both be advanced?
It seemed like they weren't really utilizing vibranium that much.
Yeah.
It seemed like they were only utilizing vibranium for that sun mechanic he created and then their weapons. That's about it.
Yeah.
I mean, when they do live underwater, it's not like you could cut a computer on in the middle.
No,
of the
and
ocean.
I understand that, but just like because they live underwater, they really don't have a use for vibranium other than the creation and then the weaponry.
The one thing I'm curious about, and it goes back to our two Easter eggs for Namor, is the the little dot on the map in Iron Man 2, and then the earthquake in Endgame.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe as they're searching for vibranium, they're like, okay, we're moving the city, and he says it in that big scene when he's all fully dressed up. He says, "I am not moving again." They never moved except before he was born. So that implies that there had to be a move of some sort. Maybe the earthquake was that, and we find that out down the road and they retcon it, or just explain it in general. I thought, you're right. There was no real use for the vibranium, and they kind of like threw out well, maybe there was multiple meteors. I'm like, okay, so there's lots of vibranium everywhere, but only one or two characters talked about that, so it's not like they're searching beyond the two nations.
Yeah. Which that's another thing I want to bring up about the movie. The vibranium, like, quote unquote subplot, I don't know how anyone would want to delegate that, but like the part of the plot that dealt with like Everett Ross and the CIA and Lady
Contessa,
Val, the Lady Hydra,
Elaine Bennis. I just call her Elaine. I ain't got time.
Did that need to be in the movie? What did that add?
My thing was
Okay,
they did such a good job keeping this movie self-contained. Like if you just saw Black Panther and that was it, you were good. But then now they added a character from Falcon and the Winter Soldier into the mix, and it probably confused a lot of people.
But she has to be in it because she's all right. So once again, this I did catch. I didn't catch the CGI tombstone, but what I did catch was this. They basically just told you she's gonna invade Wakanda. Because remember, Neymar set it up at the end. Neymar said we're their only allies. When they get invaded, they're gonna run to us. You know she's gonna go invade Wakanda. She's gonna go to Wakanda. She's gonna get that vibranium, and Shuri is gonna go to Neymar. I don't know what movie is gonna be in. I don't know what TV show or whatever is gonna be
Possibly
in.
the Thunderbolts.
Yeah, that makes the most sense. She takes her knockoff Suicide Squad into Wakanda and tries to get the vibranium. But with Shuri, and this goes back to leadership and what I get annoyed with the way they're handling Wakanda right now. Angela Bassett set the tone. She made a good example of those enemies when they try to sneak in and get the vibranium and whatnot. My only problem is once as the movie progressed, it's as if it's just as if they forgot that happened. Because when Neymar makes that proposal to her, she was so quick to take the Earthling side. She was so quick to take their side. Like they didn't just try to steal from them an hour going to the moon. And so my whole thing was I would have liked to see from Neymar's character, I would have liked to see him play more on the Shuri's, her insecurities, because they did just try to invade you. And Neymar was like, yo, we could take them out. You can have the land, I can have the ocean, we can live peacefully. And I feel like that they should have played more on that. That's Captain America versus Iron Man right there. Two people want the same thing, but they go about it different ways. The movie should have really been the battle of Daredevil. Remember when Daredevil versus Punisher? Two people want the same thing, but they go about it differently, and they fight each other because of that. That could have been the movie. It didn't need all the extra stuff. You didn't even have to give us a Black Panther. You could have just gave us Wakanda versus Atlantis and them battling over ideology, and that would have been a better movie rather than giving Shuri the Black Panther mantle. It could have just been Neymar just being a beast the whole movie, and that could have been a movie.
Honest to God, I just want to read the original script that Ryan Coogler came up with before, Chadwick passed away. Because, like I said, they fused two scripts. I'm dying to know what they had what the intention was.
I wonder if the original script did have Namor in it, because I feel we've heard it for at least the past year and a half, Namor is gonna be the main villain in Black Panther.
And we also heard the Doctor Doom rumor, which was bullshit.
Well,
there was a hint of that.
That was true. I actually think that was true, but I think they took it out because they're saving that. Because did they even announce the cast yet?
No, they haven't announced the cast at all for Fantastic Four.
I think that's why they took it out.
Or
I
X-Men.
think they're gonna wait for that.
There's been rumors floating around, but they were supposed to show up at D23 and it never happened. And not to mention, there's been a revolving door of directors for Fantastic Four, which
no, they have a director now.
Yeah, but for now, they're on their third director. Are
they?
Yeah, there's been two.
They had John Watts, and then that was it.
They had the Spider-Man guy. They've been so
they've only had two directors, John Watts, the original, but he dropped out, and then now we have Matt Shankman. There's only been two directors tied to this movie.
Yeah, I think we get it by the end of the year because it's supposed to come out in 2024.
Well, this was the last Phase 4 movie. This is the end of Wakanda Forever is the last. This is the last phase, and Quantumania is supposed to kick off Phase 5,
which I am excited for.
I hate the.
But I actually think that's when we get Doctor Doom. I think because if they do invade Wakanda and the Thunderbolts, because we know they're gonna invade Wakanda because they set it up in this movie. I think that's when we get Dr. Doom. I think Dr. Doom comes once Wakanda is, I don't want to say weakened, but when they're gone, I think that's when Dr. Doom comes in and he steals his vibranium while everybody else is fighting. He just comes in and takes what he wants and he dips. I think they introduced him in that Thunderbolt movie.
All right, NerdCage Nation,
like
we're
that
going to keep that on record. Years down the road, man, Fisk Vegas predicted the future. I'm telling you, we're going to have to, like, play back.
Hey, they do call me Morpheus Fisk. You know, I've been known to predict.
I mean, he's been predicting the goddamn Giants season pretty damn good so far. Just saying.
Hey, look, man. The future is my past. I've been there before.
I'm going to say one more thing about Namor, and then we're going to move on to the next one. The angle wings reminded me kind of like the Lightning Thief, Percy Jackson. You know,
Oh, yeah.
Kind of reminded me of that.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm wondering if they got that from, that type of mythology and stuff.
Well, I think Ryan Coogler said that the wing patterns were supposed to be based off hummingbirds. Like, that makes sense. That works for me.
No. Hummingbirds are Central American based. That could come in there, and I've taught world history for over the years, and the Mesoamerican stuff is always the best. And the one thing about Mayan culture, and it's not so much the culture, it's just that when the Mayans were killed off and had to spread out, the jungle recaptured all of that. Like, it took until about a century ago for them to find Chichen Itza and everything down there, and there was still like so much missing. Like, it's all covered by the jungle. They can check out laser technology. The fact that they are in the ocean and they're only taking up a small part, but very little has been explored. I thought that kind of mirrored what we know about the Mayans, because you can go into the jungle, but if it's not tended to, it's getting covered back up again. Mm-hmm. And if you ever saw the end of episode 4, A New Hope, those the buildings at the end where they get the awards, that's in those are Mayan temples. I thought what they did there was something. Yeah. MCU and Star Wars coming together like that.
Yo, I know this has nothing to do with sports, but is Taylor Heineke about to beat the Eagles?
I hope so.
He just threw a bomb to Terry McLaurin. They're about to go about 2 times.
All right, let's go, Washington.
I hate to interrupt this
No, all good. Dude, like I said,
but I'm
you're
watching
looking
the
at
game. I'm just like
3/5 of this stream right now are Giants fans. So you know what?
Oh, okay, cool. Oh, one more thing on Namor I wanted to ask y'all, because I know y'all are more familiar with the comic book than I am. So I wanted to ask y'all a question. From what I understand from the comic book version of Namor, isn't he supposed to be as strong as the freaking Hulk? Like, isn't he supposed to be like this super?
They made a comment about that too, right? He threw the helicopter out of the sky. Yeah. And that was a little startling. And then later on, somebody said he was as strong as the Hulk, which that's something.
Which leads me to my next question. If this guy's as strong as the Hulk, are y'all telling me Shuri can beat the Hulk? I mean, I look. I'm a wrestling fan. If I see Roman Reigns lose to Rey Mysterio, now you're telling me Rey Mysterio could beat Brock Lesnar. I'm just saying. I'm just putting two and two together. Yeah. And while I'm ranting on Namor right quick, because he's like my second favorite villain, right? No, he's my third favorite villain behind Thanos and Killmonger. I'm dead serious. Y'all are gonna laugh when I ask this, but I'm dead serious. This guy been alive for 500 years, right?
Yeah, 1500. Yeah, he was born 1500, whatever.
He's the king, right?
Yeah.
Which means he has access to any woman he wants to. You mean to tell me he been alive for 500 years and we ain't got no baby Namors running around? You mean to tell me we ain't got no baby Namors with little feet, with little wings on their feet running around to help out their daddy in time of war? He's supposed to have a whole crew of baby Namors to go handle stuff. I can't be the only one who
baby Namors.
I can't be the only one who noticed that. Like, there's no way he's the only one. I'm the king of Telecom for 500 years, and I ain't piped down like at least 150 girls a century. Nah, man, there's no way. There's no way this man don't got no kids, man. Marvel got to answer these questions. This is what the people want.
I didn't even think of it enough.
Kevin Feige, his name on fuck.
Yes, I would ask it just like that. Is Namor a virgin?
No way. No way. He better not be. As a Mexican, as a half Mexican over here, he better not be.
Yo, because we know he's not rapping up. He's Neymar.
They have vasectomies in 1500.
Is Neymar supposed to have a whole?
I mean, if we're gonna go hold on. If we're gonna go the Highlander route, immortals can't have children. But
is he immortal?
Well, if he's alive in Highlander, well, here's the thing: immortals. Okay, in Highlander, the immortals live forever unless their head's cut off. So like,
that was dark.
Oh, dude, if you have this, Fisk, I recommend watch the original Highlander with Christopher Lambert and Sean Connery. I'm telling you, I think you will enjoy it. And the Kurgan is one of the best villains of all time in cinema. And get this, Fisk, and then we can move on. The director of John Wick is making a new Highlander reboot movie, and Henry Cavill is going to be the new Highlander.
Oh, by the way, John Wick 4. Oh my God.
Yes.
I can't get enough. I
know. I think we will definitely do a John Wick spoiler stream.
Yes.
John Wick 4.
I don't care what the story is about. I just want to see John Wick murder people. I'm a simple creature. I am a simple creature.
I've never seen them.
It does not matter. Just
oh,
give me some dope
Willdband, you have a golden opportunity. Go on HBO Max, watch all 3 movies. I'm telling you.
I've seen like pieces of the first one. I've never
golden
sat down and watched
I'm not
them.
gonna make fun of it because they're relatively new. So, but you have a golden opportunity to see some of the best action movie of the last decade. Easily, between that and The Expendables, are probably like the best movie of the last decade, like action movie of the decade. So, check those out. They're fantastic. I personally think the first is the best one, but man, the third one was really good. I can't wait for the fourth. I hope they keep making those movies. But yeah, as I was saying, the John Wick director is doing a new Highlander with Henry Cavill, so that should be cool. All right, Joe, what we got next?
Now we're gonna move to my biggest upset of the entire movie, and that would be Ironheart.
All right. I got some things to say. I'm going to kick this off here. I did not like Ironheart. I'm sorry. She's no Iron Man, but I'm sorry. This is going to sound mean. But here's what bothered me about Ironheart. Okay. I got to be careful how I say this. But what bothered me, I'm going to tread lightly when I say this. I'm hoping everybody here at least has my back here. I found it odd that this character that they made her so wholesome. She blows up a bunch of cops with no remorse. Kills all these innocent cops that by the bridge, right? Just wipes them away. She has no remorse. Now, rewind back to Captain America Civil War. When we saw Wanda accidentally kill that guy with the explosion that she tried to contain. And kills that guy, and she's like she starts crying and she's remorseful about it. But this little 19-year-old has no remorse for killing cops. But they picked her as this wholesome character, and she's like the new hope and the next Iron Man. And then, on top of that, I'm sorry, her Iron Man suit looked like a cheap knockoff of Blue Beetle. It looked like a Blue Beetle. It didn't look like Ironheart. Oh my gosh, it was
so cheesy.
I'm sorry, I did not like this character, how she was portrayed. And then, of course, at the end of the movie, are the cops going to come after me or anything? Oh, nope, I took care of it. So this woman got away with murder. Okay. I didn't like it. I did not like how... I didn't like it. I'm sorry. Okay, I'm done.
Actually, Jay, I didn't notice that. I really wasn't paying it no mind. I'm desensitized to superheroes blowing shit up that I really didn't pay that any attention. I'm glad you brought that up. I didn't think it.
Well, you remember the whole chase scene, and then like before that fight on the bridge, and then she's like, "Oh yeah, I'll come help," and she just blows up all those cops there, all of them, wiped them out.
That's a good point.
They
That's
paid no mind. Like, and this is
I think they actually bring that up too when Val and Ross are investigating the bridge scene. I think they said there were some casualties. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I want to say
I don't. Well, okay,
I heard a
still,
background
but she was not remorseful about it. And at the end of the movie, she's got a clean slate going back to.
Oh my gosh, Jay, you just made me look at the whole character differently. You're right. That's some bullshit.
I don't like
it. Thinking about
and
it,
then Joe's like, well, Iron Man killed people in the cave. Those were terrorists. Like, she killed cops. Like, what the fuck, dude? I'm sorry. I did not like this character, and her suit was lame. All right?
Yeah. See,
that's another thing. She's flying in the beginning of the movie. She's flying through the air, and she crashes into the pavement. No injuries. Like, this is so lame.
And her suit was exposed at that point.
Yeah, she was exposed. She slams into the pavement. No injuries, no broken bones, no nothing. She goes up into the stratosphere with no oxygen. No problem. I'm sorry. I didn't like this. This was lazy on Marvel. Shame on you. Fuck Ironheart. I'm done.
See, mine was more. I was more pissed of the fact that they didn't really do the character justice to her backstory in the comics and everything, because she's supposed to be like idolizing Tony Stark and using, his methods to make the suits and everything. And the suit was supposed to be smaller. It's supposed to be pink, yellow, and black, not red and blue. And it's just, and it was completely CGI, which took me completely out of it. At least the Iron Man suit was kind of believable. This was like, what the hell is this thing? And it almost reminded me, it looked like I was looking at a Power Ranger for
I thought it was
a second there. But I mean, it was
that was a Blank Man outfit. Y'all remember Blank Man?
Yeah, Blank.
That was fresh out of Blank Man.
But yeah, that and the thing that Jay brought up, and I mean, it's just, there were so many things they did wrong with that character that I just couldn't deal with it.
I think if they're, I didn't know anything really about her going in, and I didn't even in the first time I saw the trailer, I didn't realize that was Ironheart in there, and I was like, we'll just be surprised by this. I accepted that she was this genius, but they didn't have any reference to Iron Man or Tony Stark. And I think a small reason for that is if she idolizes this white guy, Tony Stark, it kind of takes away from fact that she's working on her own, coming up with all this stuff, being a genius, and it gives like an influence of like, oh, you're here because of the white guy instead of on your own merits. And kind of related to that, she made a reference to something. She used the phrase to be young, black, and gifted. That's a Nina Simone song. It's related to Raisin in the Sun. And if you know that play,
yeah, we read that in high school.
That was
Danny Glover.
Yeah, it's related to that with Lorraine Hansberry. That's something that Chadwick Boseman used during an acceptance speech years ago. That I feel was worked in, not forced, and it really fit because she's at MIT. She is young, black, and gifted. But to go beyond that, to say, oh yeah, I love Tony Stark. Well, you're young, black, and gifted, but you're looking up to the guy who's gone. I felt that there was a disconnect, and you could have introduced her in another movie, in a different movie, or previously to some degree, and just walked in with like, oh, look who made this machine, this 19-year-old. Let's go find her, and we already know the girl. I think that was annoying. Could have been solved. Yeah.
I mean, personally, I think they should have rewrote the character altogether from the comics and rewrote it as, how Tony's daughter's still there. Make her Ironheart. That's what I would have done.
Fisk, what do you got on Ironheart? I want to hear what you Fisk got.
Who's more annoying, the kid from Black Adam or Ironheart?
I haven't seen Black Adam, so I can't comment.
I will defend. Listen, real quick. I will defend the kid from Black Adam because you know what? That relationship to me was like John Connor and Arnold, or Short Rounds and Indiana Jones. The little kid, the little teenager idolizing his idol, going on adventures together. Yeah. And as a man who was once a boy who idolized Arnold and these big, action heroes, like I felt for that kid because he idolized Black Adam.
I found the kid to be adorable.
So I actually liked that kid. I know a lot of people didn't. I actually didn't mind the kid because, like I said, to me it felt like Terminator 2 or Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom, that kind of vibe. But anyway, go ahead.
I'll give you a harder question, Jay. Who's more annoying? And I'll put it on the same level. The Ironheart or the guy that you didn't like in there that got shot?
The what?
Who's that guy? The guy in Black Adam that got shot that you hoped was
I couldn't stand that fat guy. Fuck that fat guy. Couldn't stand the fat guy. All right.
So you didn't like the fat guy?
I couldn't stand him. I was hoping he'd die and he didn't. I couldn't stand him.
God.
Sorry. I liked the kid. I didn't like the brother. I didn't like the brother. All right. So back to Ironheart. So Fisk, Ironheart.
I'm just gonna be honest with you. I didn't care. That was one of those. Okay, whatever. It's like, okay, yeah, whatever. I just didn't care. Like, enough. We already got got Ms. Marvel, okay, we got She-Hulk. Now we getting Ironheart. Like, can we bring these resources together and like bring like? I'm just gonna say it. We didn't need She-Hulk. We don't need Ironheart. We need Miss Marvel. They could have just brought back the Netflix characters at this point. Y'all could have brought me back Jessica Jones. Y'all could have brought me back Luke Cage. I could have got Danny Rand back. They could have done that. You're bringing me all these characters that I don't care about. Between She-Hulk twerking and this blank man trash can Iron Man suit. It's like you're bringing these characters in and you're not doing them justice. Nobody cares. Oh, that's how I felt about her. I'm like, oh, Marvel's forcing another character. Just like at the end of Thor, Love and Thunder. Now we got another child or whatever. It's like, okay, they're forcing all these little kids into these movies now. Like, is the Young Avengers gonna be this good? I mean, what are we doing, Marvel? Once again, they're forcing characters. They keep force feeding characters, and I don't like it. I don't think she was necessary for the plot. And the most important thing she did was not die so Angela Bassett can die. That's the most important thing she did the whole movie.
Yeah.
Outside of that, she was useless. She was useless.
What you
Namor
heard
had
what I
no
said
use-
though? She killed all them cops. No remorse. All right, Willdband. Anything on Ironheart? Because like I said, I think me and Fisk trashed the character. I kind of feel bad.
Yeah, she was really useless. When they took it to Telecon, Namor had no use for her. He went straight to Shuri. And then when they get back on land, it's like, okay, what exactly are you good for? You're just gonna get in your suit and fly around? Like, that's it? That's what you do? She just didn't serve a purpose. Like, and then they sent her back to the United States. They didn't even let her be Shuri's new tech girl. They didn't even give her a purpose. They just sent her back to the United States with a clean record.
With a clean slate.
But they kept the suit.
It was dumb. And like, the car was nice, but other than the car, like, you got no use for her character.
Yeah, they don't like. She makes a big deal about it as her dad's car, but we don't know anything about her father. Where does that come in? Like, again, you could have introduced Ironheart. I don't know what movie, but in the last 2 years, you could have picked anything, slipped her in for a couple of scenes, and then she's at least established. Give her idolizing Tony Stark, and then she shows up in this movie. Oh, cool! So she gets like front and center. There needed to be a little bit of an establishment, and I thought it was weird that Namor immediately is like, "Bring me the scientist who made this. I'm going to kill them." I'm like, what the hell are you going to do then? The science is already out there. It's not like it can't be replicated. You're going to kill this kid, and then you're going to kill this person. Then you find out it's a kid. That doesn't change your mind. And then the logic of, oh yeah, I'm just going to kill him, and that's all I want to do is like, that's it. That's all. I got to kill one person, and this problem's gone. That was really myopic thinking. And when we started this tonight, you said plot holes. I'm like, what plot holes? This one pretty
That's what
obvious.
I'm saying, man.
They forced her in.
That's why we do
Yes,
this.
they forced her in,
We feed off each other. We feed off each other here.
Yes.
We all point stuff out with maybe the other person didn't. That's why I love doing these spoiler discussions.
And you know what, Pete? To piggyback off your point, Pete, they introduced the baddest motherfucker in Phase 5 at the end of Loki.
Yeah.
They could have did that with her.
Yep.
The big villain, the most important person in all of Phase 5, and Kang got introduced at the end of Loki.
Mm-hmm.
You mean to tell me you couldn't do that for Ironheart? Like, just give her like 20 minutes on one of these Disney Plus shows? That's all we need.
I mean, she's getting her own Disney Plus show soon.
Oh God, no! Here we go.
So I think we're all in agreement that the
I haven't said
execution.
anything yet.
The execution wasn't the best, and she wasn't like the most established character in the movie. I think we all in agreement that she's kind of a weak point part of the movie.
I liked her.
I haven't seen her enough to like her yet. I have to see a Mark II suit that looks authentic. I have to see her origin story. I haven't seen enough to really attach me to the character yet. Right now, what I've seen in the movie, don't like her. But if I see an origin story to why she got to that point, or I see a Mark II suit that looks authentic or something, maybe I'll change my mind,
Now, all I knew going into Wakanda Forever was I knew she existed. I didn't read the comics on her. All I knew was she existed. That being said, Dominique Thorne, the actress who played Riri Williams, she helped sell me on the character. She got me excited. Like, okay, Ironheart, cool. I'll probably check it out when it comes out. But like after watching her performance, yeah, okay, I'm a little more excited for this show now. So mainly because of the acting from Dominique Thorne, I did like the character of Riri Williams. I'm not saying she's not a rough character. I'm not saying she couldn't have been introduced earlier, if not better. I'm just saying I'm now looking more forward to the Ironheart series because of the acting that was given by Dominique Thorne.
Yeah. Don't get me wrong. I liked all the performances with what they were given.
What exactly?
It's just what they were given that I have the issue with.
The script's all over the place. The pacing and the script's all over. The pacing was off in this movie. And I was talking to Mark about this. By the way, Mark had an interesting opinion. For the record, since Mark's not here, he was going to be here, but he had to work. But Mark said that this is middle tier Marvel, is what he said. Nothing. He said the first one's still way better, middle tier Marvel. But he was just pointing out that that the pacing was definitely off in this movie, and that originally this was Wakanda Forever was supposed to be a Disney Plus series, but they made it into a movie.
I knew they were talking about doing like a Wakanda type show, but I never really heard much more than they're thinking about doing it.
Yeah, but at one point it was, and like I said before, this was two scripts meshed together, and as Joe was just saying, yeah, the performances based on what they were given, they did the best they could. I just found the Ironheart character, like I said, again, the way they portrayed her, and then she kills them cops, and then she gets a clean slate. I didn't like it at all. At all. So that's just me. All right. We're getting close to 10:30 here, so I think Joe, let's do one or two topics.
I think we're gonna double up.
All right, here we go. Double up.
So we'll do M'Baku and the cameo from Michael B. Jordan.
Oh, okay.
Okay. M'Baku, I thought, other than Angela Bassett, was the best written character. He was the wise one trying to counsel Shuri. In my opinion, he should have been black. I just like that he was the one dominant male that was kicking ass, but he was also wise. He's my favorite line was, "You shouldn't kill. If you kill this man," referring to Namor, we're gonna be at war with them forever. They worship him as a god. You kill their god, Wakanda and them will be at war for eternity. He was trying to talk sense, talk some sense, and I like that. Not that he talked some sense, but he was still brooding and kicked ass. Loved it. Absolutely loved it. As far as the Michael B. Jordan cameo, surprised me, honestly. I wasn't expecting that. I love Michael B. Jordan. I'm a diehard Creed fan. I actually like Michael B. Jordan since, even in, Fantastic Four, as bad as that movie was, he was great. I like him in everything. He's great at everything he does. I'm rooting for the guy hard. And like I said, I love the Adonis Creed character. So it was cool to see him in there, but, I just thought it was just kind of off. What's Shuri gonna do? Is she gonna be the new Killmonger, or is she gonna be the new T'Challa, or is she gonna be her queen? It was kind of all over the place. And I don't know. I just thought for a minute there, what the hell is she gonna do? So I don't know. I thought the cameo was cool, but it kind of I don't know. It felt a little weird to me. I don't know. That's all I got. What do you guys got on these two?
For me, M'Baku grew as a character between the first movie and between Black Panther and now, because in Black Panther he was the kind of the comic relief meathead character in the first one. He wanted the throne, and then he just went back up to the mountains oh, are you done? And then, he helped out in the final battle, and then he was a little bit more badass in Avengers Infinity War, and then here he is now, a little bit more wiser, still badass.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then this character grew, and I appreciated that. And based on what they did with that the waterfall fight in this one, maybe he'll become the new king of Wakanda. Maybe
that's what I wanted.
Maybe Shuri won't take the throne. Maybe M'Baku will. And then of all the things we've been hearing about this movie for the past year and a half, Namor is going to be the main villain. Oh, maybe Dr. Doom will be in the post-credit scene. I never heard about Michael B. Jordan making an appearance in this movie. So when he showed up on screen, I was like, oh shit.
Well, that's Ryan Coogler's guy. because of Creed and
no, yeah,
and
I know they're frequent collaborators, but still, like I feel like, okay, Killmonger died, we'll see him in What If, like we probably won't see him again in live action, but the fact that we got to see him again, I was like, sweet, cool.
Yeah, I agree.
I was very surprised, and I was like, I very welcome him back. It's like, oh, I did not expect to see you again. So it was a really cool moment. It really helped. It helped Shuri's story. It really helped her question herself, like, am I really like you? No, I don't want to be like you. And then, of course, her mother coming in at the last and like, show him who you really are. Like, I feel like Shuri is like the best of both T'Challa and Killmonger. But she's also her own person. Like, she's three parts. She's Shuri, she's T'Challa, and she's Killmonger.
Yeah, and I agree with Will that M'Baku is a powerhouse that has grown exponentially in this film. So I mean, he's a force to be reckoned with. Let's just say that. As for the cameo, the one thing that got me, and this is because of the previews. Like going back before the movie even started. We saw the preview for Quantumania. Dude, Killmonger says the exact same thing that Kang says in Quantumania. And that kind of sent shivers down my spine because, like, how are they saying the exact same line? I can't remember what it was, but I know they said the exact same line. It was like something like, the question is not who, but why, or something like that. I can't remember.
Not how, but why.
Yeah. They both said the same thing, and I was like, okay, what does this mean? You know what I mean? So there's a connection there somewhere.
Yeah, I'm looking to explore where things go. Killmonger, that was once you saw the fire and she wasn't in the purple land with the trees. I don't know what the right term is, but
ancestral
when she doesn't go to the ancestral plane and she's in the throne room, it's like, oh, she's in hell. And as soon as she turns around and it's the throne, it's like, oh, I think you're right. There's three parts to her. It's her, and then there's the two that are fighting in her. It's T'Challa, Black Panther, and then her just general anger at life against Killmonger because some mystery thing took her brother and she couldn't mourn. She didn't mourn at all in that last year. She wouldn't burn the robes until the end of the movie. So I think it was a fantastic cameo. I think that was probably one of the better ones in the last few years to just have somebody show up completely unannounced.
Yeah, exactly.
And then M'Baku, I see him. I thought he was great comic relief the moment he stepped on the screen eating a carrot and just munching away, and it threw back to saying like, "Oh yeah, we're vegetarians." I'm like, okay, like there's the frog tribe and the gorilla tribe. They fit all of the aspects and as well as African culture in that. I think he acts as we move into the third one more of like the Forrest Whitaker character, like the Godfather, like the like Willie said, the advisor to the whole to the next one, and he'll help out as well as Shuri with the new Black Panther when Prince T'Challa returns. My question is, will Black Panther 3 be called Return of the King, or can it be called Return of the King?
I want to say at the end of the movie, doesn't M'Baku, I'm gonna butcher his name, doesn't he become king because Shuri didn't want it?
He does, like, he goes to the waterfall ceremony and he's like, oh, the Panther cannot be here, but like, I will fight for the throne. So like, I think it's implying that if he wins that waterfall fight, he will become the new king, because it sounds like Shuri didn't want to be queen. That's what I took.
That's what I was thinking. Yeah, so I'm thinking he's king, and then she's Black Panther. And
I can see them putting that in as like an Easter egg, like they do at the headlines on like the TV reports. And you're like, King M'Baku of Wakanda, and they just mention that in. And then a couple of years later, we find out what happened here. But if Shuri's okay with it, and he did offer his land to everybody when they had to evacuate the city, and he had to start right before Black Panther shows up. He has to sit there taking care of the logistical aspects of, hey, we got more people, like, what do we do? And he's learning to be more of a leader than he already has to be just to his people. So I thought the scene where he gets knocked on his ass by Namor and the whole breastplate gets destroyed, that was a demonstration of strength.
Damn.
Also humbled him.
Yeah, he's like, the fish man.
Yes.
I just think that Michael B. Jordan has such charisma, and seeing him on the throne, that made the movie for me. Seeing him on the throne, him giving his speech, because remember, Killmonger was never wrong.
Yeah.
It just, his approach was just a little too Fisk Vegas-esque, of an approach. To take no prisoners, I'm gonna do this by any means necessary. That's not good politically. So I mean, his approach was a little aggressive, but I never considered Killmonger to be a villain. I just thought he was an anti-hero more than a villain, because he was fighting for the right cause. He just went about it the wrong way.
It was almost like Professor X and Magneto.
Exactly.
And T'Challa and Killmonger. Yeah, that's how I kind of.
And Punisher and Daredevil.
Yeah.
I thought the best thing Netflix ever did was really flesh out the ideology between Cox and Bernthal. They acted that out beautifully. So I really thought that was Killmonger and T'Challa in the last movie. So seeing him give Shuri those gems, I thought it made sense, because Shuri always did side with his ideology more than she sided with T'Challa. And she knew her father was a liar. Like, these are things that Shuri knew. So when he was playing it back to her, I was like, yeah, this is good stuff right here. They're not gonna give me some emotional Angela Bassett speech right now. Like, this is great. I love it. So, I enjoyed her Black Panther when she was angry. I did enjoy it. This movie was great. I don't want anybody to think that the movie's not great. It's a bad superhero movie, but from a film perspective, like, if I wasn't a comic book fan and I didn't see the first Black Panther, and you just watch this as a film, it's great. Yeah. The action scenes with Namor, the water balloons that they've been throwing all movie, like, it was great.
I love the bridge fight.
Yeah, the one-on-one fight at the bridge.
Yeah, that was the best part. Other than Ironheart doing what Ironheart did, I loved that fight. I'm a huge I'm a kung fu fan, so to see that hand-to-hand the weapon combat, that was the tits. I loved it.
Yeah, Denai Gurira did a fantastic job kicking ass.
Yeah, it was the best part of the movie, because that was like, that's some real shit right there. And again, props to Ryan Coogler, because he knows how to film a fight. Watch Creed if you haven't already.
Mm-hmm. And Namor, the way they presented him like a badass the whole movie. Mm-hmm. They didn't put anybody over. You know what I'm saying? Normally Marvel likes to use their bad guys to put over their good guys. They do that a lot, especially in the Iron Man movies. Mm-hmm. But in this movie, Namor was the guy. He had that presence. He had that aura of invincibility about him until the end. And I appreciate Ryan Coogler for delivering that, because he did it with Killmonger too. Killmonger had that aura of invincibility around him, of course, until the end. And I like that out of my villains. I don't want my villains to be like, like pussy, and then like freaking Gore the God Butcher was hiding behind children for a whole freaking movie. Like, stop. You're the killer of gods and you're hiding behind children? Like, what are we doing here? So, shout out to Ryan Coogler for keeping Namor over and not killing the character.
Excellent. Pete, you got anything on M'Baku and Michael B. Jordan? Or
I already gave you my thoughts.
Okay, sorry. I'm long night, long day.
So I think the last things we're gonna do here is the end battle and the mid-credit scene.
Okay. Yeah, let's power through that real, because it's getting late. So let's power through it.
What the hell just happened?
Huh?
How did it score?
Who? What's the score?
Yeah, the Eagles is about to score a touchdown, and all of a sudden it says Washington scored a touchdown.
What's the score? What's the score?
If this play hold, that's a fumble. That's a whole fumble.
Fisk, kill me. What's the score?
Washington 30, Eagles 21. 5 minutes to go.
Oh, come on, Washington. All right. Okay, so end battle. Honestly, I'll say one thing about the end battle. It was a little underwhelming. I thought the battle on the bridge, like the battle, the attack on Wakanda was cooler than the end battle in my opinion, and like. The Iron Heart suit was so off-putting. It took me out of the movie. And one thing that drove me nuts is, hey, the people from Wakanda weren't wearing earplugs. Why didn't the Atlantean people do that hypnotism and make them like commit suicide? They could have done that. But whatever. They did it earlier. Why couldn't they do it again?
I'm trying to understand why you go fight the king of the water in the middle of the water. That was stupid. I'm sorry.
That was kind of weird too. Yeah, like you're gonna fight them in the middle of water where they basically have like home advantage. But whatever. I just thought
if I see one Wakandan boat, well, they shielded it and then they didn't, and yet still, like they were prepared with the water bombs, but it didn't. It was a cool ending, and I was more watching what Namor and Shuri were doing on the side than rather whatever was happening on the boat, because that became secondary to the two of them hashing it out on the beach. That was the final battle to me. It was whatever was happening on the water. That was your minions on both sides fighting it out. And I still didn't understand how that giant bomb went off. And then there's just a big smoking hole in the middle that already seems to exist on this ship. But they're still just going about like, oh yeah, bomb went off, let's just keep going. And oh, here's more that are coming in. Like it didn't entirely make sense on that front.
I'm going to fast forward to when Shuri and Namor were actually fighting. And, I can appreciate the nobleness of, remembering what your mother said and then, sparing him and everything. But if you're going to spare him anyway, you could have done that at the beginning of the movie and saved yourself all this trouble and all the people that died throughout the entire fucking thing. You literally could have just said, okay, well, I guess we'll team up. And it would have been roll credits. There you go.
But Joe, then there'd be no movie.
I know, exactly.
Joe's exactly right. And honestly, the final battle, like I said, the bridge battle to me was like the best like spectacle for me than the final battle. But yeah, and as far as the mid-credit scene, honestly, they didn't have to do a mid-credit scene. They could have just played that part like right at the end of the movie, just kept it going instead of making the mid-credit scene, and then maybe do some other tribute in the middle of the credits or something. I think would have been more effective.
I can agree with that.
Yeah, Jay Paul Daggett actually answered back to you. He said the Sirens did do the song for them, but they got taken out. They got hit. I don't remember that part exactly, but that's what he said.
Yeah, it was in the first. Yeah.
Real quick, one last minor complaint since y'all talking about the final fight.
Yeah.
So we're just gonna act like Shuri didn't just get stabbed directly.
Thank you. I completely forgot.
Right? Yeah, and it's like I can understand the suit healing, but her.
Yeah, she gets penetrated
Black
through
Panther
the
had
gut.
healing abilities, I guess.
I know it was Black Wolverine.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's a comic never had healing ability. She's not Wolverine. Like they don't have Black Panthers don't have healing ability. The suit, yes, but her, no. Like them, no. Like, yeah, that made no sense. I'm glad you brought that up because I completely forgot about that. But I'm like Joe, Joe, am I missing something? Like she just
and not only did she take it out, right? Not only did she take it out, but then she proceeds to whoop Namor ass afterwards.
Yeah,
get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, that was stupid. I'm sorry, that took me out of the movie.
I think for me,
wait a minute. So she got a hole in her stomach. She's about to beat up Namor, who's supposed to be as strong as the Hulk, right? He just pimp smacking Baku like 10 minutes ago, made him fly back 50 yards, but she just whooping him one-on-one. Like I can't, bro. I can't.
I mean that was rushed. You could tell that part was when it was written was rushed.
But they didn't even explain it. Like she could have said, "Oh yeah, this is a gift from my brother. I can heal," or like there's no.
Well, they could have went that direction, or they could have actually had her wounded on the side or something, and right before she gets killed or something, Ironheart could have came in and saved her from it. You know, they could have been anything like that.
Yeah,
and he just decided to go, no, this never happened.
Rushed.
For me, I didn't mind the final battle. I wasn't like, woo, but I wasn't like, this is stupid. I would say, like, for me, a choice was, I know the design is inspired by the comics, but the Nighthawks that Okoye and the other Dora Milaje member wore, I'm like, those look interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They kind of reminded me. They kind of look like Hellboy type stuff.
Yeah, kind of. I mean, again, I feel like the Shuri Namor fight was, again, the highlight of the final battle. I thought the choreography between them was kind of cool. I thought it was nice that she outsmarted him. She like blasted half his back off, and he's like trying to get back to the water. Thought that was kind of cool. Mid credits, I thought that was touching. I thought that was it's another nice tribute towards Chadwick Boseman having his son continue the legacy. I'll be curious to see what that means for the future for both Wakanda and just for the MCU as a whole. Yeah.
Yeah, as far as all the suits and stuff, like the new suits and Ironheart and everything, I think it's more Marvel kind of
toys
bumping elbows with you and going, "Hey, you remember that Tony Stark inside the helmet look? We got that like 3 times now."
I thought the mid-credit scene hit perfectly. I thought that they, making you wait for it and then leaving you on the beach after she's already burned the robes and she's mourning, and then Lupita Nyong'o coming over with this boy, and I didn't connect the dots until she started to like talk to her and was like, "Yeah, I want to introduce you to somebody." I'm like, "Oh, get the fuck out." Okay, you kept this one. Maybe he's in the scene in that in the school she's working at. I didn't think to look then, but when I go and see it again this weekend, I'll get another look. I thought introducing him was perfect. If he's 7 or 8, then he'll be in 5 years. He'll be a teenager. She said what his name was, and I thought it was perfect because this is set in Haiti. She was pronouncing it Haiti, which is the way that Haitians actually would pronounce it. I don't know if Ryan Coogler has a connection to Haiti in that. I know he's from Oakland, but they tied Haiti to it's in the Caribbean, it's near the Yucatan. It fits perfectly with that, and that's where the woman who knew of the beach. And I still want to know where that final battle beach scene is. That was pretty dope. I think the kicker for me, it took the whole movie. I'm sitting there like, all right, this is good. This is a great film. Not gonna cry at all. No, they name him Toussaint, and that's the name of the guy who freed Haiti in the 1700s, and he was a black former slave. And to give him that name and then say, "Oh yeah, but my real name is Prince T'Challa," I'm like, oh shit, that is gonna come back in 5 years. That is gonna be absolutely critical, because he's going to have to free someone later on. If they're giving him that name now, there's got to be some implication for that in the future with leading into Black Panther 3. Maybe Doom takes over Wakanda. Maybe that's something from the comics. Maybe Thunderbolts have something, and this is where he gets a little older in Haiti and she returns with him in the 3rd film.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
I had a lot to think about.
Educational.
For the second one.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow, Pete, you blew my mind just now. I just want to know if they got this idea from Coming to America too. Just saying. But no,
they should have had a Wakanda reference in that movie. That was a missed opportunity.
Exactly. Yeah.
They could have just dropped it, like have a rep from Wakanda. I couldn't tell you much about Coming to America too, because I only had to see it once. But yeah, that was the one missed error they had.
Yeah. Fisk, got anything on the end credits there or not?
I mean, once again, like my guy Pete just made me feel better about it. That would be great. Dr. Doom takes over Wakanda, then this kid rolls up and frees, and that'd be great. But at the moment in the theater, I wasn't trying to hear that. All right, they just gave me some Shuri Black Panther that was completely non-believable, and I'm upset. But so that was my feelings in the theater. And as of right now, the kid's like 5, 6, 7 years old. They're gonna roll with Shuri for the time being, so who cares? Unless they're giving me Michael B. Jordan or another T'Challa from another universe in these Avenger movies, I don't really care. He has no use for me. I don't care about some children Avenger squad. I don't care. What is it, Young Avengers?
Yeah, Young Avengers.
I don't care. I don't know if you heard me. I don't know if I said it before, but I don't care. I don't. Like, they're setting up stuff I don't care about. Okay,
Yeah,
that's why I'm just like, I'm ready for phase 5.
If they're going to introduce new things and stuff like that, my idea, and this is a really weird crossover, but we have Thor and all the Asgardians and everything, and we have a game that just came out. Bring Kratos in somewhere.
Yeah, shout out to Kratos.
I mean, you had in Love and Thunder, you had a god killer. Kratos is a god killer. That could have been supplemented, and the movie could have been something great.
Exactly.
All right.
I don't know, Marvel, they always mess the villains up for the most part, so I don't know.
Yeah, they get some of them right, but yeah, they do have a villain problem. All right, so let's wrap this up here because it's getting late. So I want everybody to plug themselves in again. Take as much time as you need to plug yourself in, and then give your closing thoughts and a final rating 1 through 10. And we'll start with Pete. Go ahead, man.
Well, before this, before we started this, I had written down rating. I was like, okay, 9 out of 10. I'm going to drop it down to an 8 out of 10. This is still one of my favorite Marvel movies because it introduced one of my favorite anti-hero antagonists. Namor, I've been waiting for him. The fact that Coogler held off on him and said, I want him as a character. There's a lot of long-term potential with him, and we'll get a lot more of Talakhan out of that. I got 2 predictions. One, Oscar nomination for Angela Bassett. I think she does great as that. There were some, not the scene of just before her death, but a couple before that. That was just powerful acting, and that deserves a nomination at a minimum. Second idea is that again, if Prince T'Challa is 7 or 8 in 5 years. And this hinges on it, this movie coming out in 5 years. You have a young teen T'Challa, and he starts to become friends with a young girl by the name of Aurora in Wakanda. And then the final scene of that future Black Panther 3 is Aurora taking her powers and being brought to Xavier School for the Gifted. And that's how X-Men franchise starts, and it starts to come out of there. So I think we long-term get that because if she's one of his first pupils, Xavier's pupils, they got to bring it in somehow, and I don't think you just bridge X-Men directly. You just have it just trail off the end before you, as the trilogy comes to a close. So that's one. I was holding out for a Storm reference somewhere in there. We didn't get it, so I think it's
no. They can't use any X-Men until after 2025.
Oh, then that's perfect. So
yeah.
This could fit into the third one. So yeah, they're 8 out of 10 Oscar nomination for Angela Bassett, and let's see where the third one takes us, and maybe we get X-Men probably by the end of the decade. I think.
But Jay, they're having Wolverine's in Deadpool 3 though.
Yeah.
Hugh Jackman specifically.
Yeah, but I think they can't make new he's still.
Oh yeah, you're right. Yeah. They have to use old characters.
They can't recast any of the X-Men until after 2025. So that's why they're Hugh Jackman, because Hugh Jackman is still technically under contract because of the deal that he signed way back when, and that carried over on the Disney buying Fox deal. All right. Oh, Pete, go ahead and plug yourself in. All the links are in the description.
Yeah, make sure to visit NewYorkStateMusic.com, NYS Music, NY State Music on every platform. We'll cover music all across New York State and beyond. Discover some great new local music and bands around you and events. And if you're going to be out in Colorado and Denver, I'll have a fan art show in Broomfield on December 17th and another one on December 30th in New York City at Hill Country before Fish at the Garden. So
nice. All right. By all means, please sub these guys up, knowing that these guys are talented, wonderful content creators and they're great at what they do. They are also wonderful friends of mine and wonderful friends of the channel. Fisk fucking Vegas. Closing thoughts. What do you think? 1 through 10, and plug whatever you want to plug, man.
I'm gonna give the movie a solid. I'm gonna give it a 9. The movie's good. Once you get over the fact that this is a horrible comic book film and just look at it as an action movie, it's great. Like, at the end of the day, if I didn't know T'Challa existed, if Chadwick Boseman never existed, and I went into this movie knowing Shuri was the Black Panther, it's a great movie. It really is. Her character arc the pain she had to go through and everything. She earned the mantle. I just think it's BS, but she did earn it. So 9 out of 10. Once you just compartmentalize and take the movie for what it is, it's 9 out of 10. As far as everything else goes, Fisk Vegas Blue, General Fisk Vegas, sub up my channels, Bully Fisk on Twitter. Make sure y'all go ahead, follow me on Twitter. And yeah, Giants are gonna win a Super Bowl. I don't know what else to tell y'all.
Did Washington win?
Hopefully they're gonna close out. The Eagles caught a 60-yard bomb and fumbled after he caught it. Quez Watkins literally caught a 60-yard bomb and fumbled. So now the Washington has the ball back, and they're up 5 points. So
all right,
hopefully they close out.
Hell yeah. All right, the magical man from the sand, Willdband, man. Closing thoughts, rating, and plug wherever you want to plug, my friend.
I can say I still, even after all this discussion, I think I can still say I really like this, on par, if not slightly better than the first Black Panther movie. I think I can give it I agree with Pete, I give it a solid 8 out of 10. The performances alone are worth the viewing of this movie. For me, Namor was acted beautifully. The actor, I'm probably gonna butcher his name, so the actor played Namor, or Namor as they say in Telecom. It was really, really cool. I can't wait to see what we see of Namor in the future. As for me, you can find me on my channel, Willdband. I am currently reacting to Batman the Animated Series, and I'm finishing out Arcane within the next few weeks, so tune in for those reactions. I am also a part of the 4, soon to be 5 co-hosts of the Petty Cash podcast, where we take anything that we bring to the table and discuss it. We are currently talking about our recent trip to California, where we visited Sony Picture Studios. We went to Halloween Horror Nights at Universal Studios, and we took a trip to Disney, where all my friends got to experience Avengers Campus and Galaxy's Edge for the first time, and I took them around because I've been there at least 4 times at this point because I'm a Disney nut. Other than that, I stream sometimes. I haven't touched Twitch in a long time. I stream sometimes here on YouTube with friends doing games and whatnot. And yeah, that's me. Thanks,
All
Jake.
right, Joe. Closing thoughts, rating, and plug what we got going on this week.
All right, so when all's said and done, did I hate the movie? No, but there are some parts that I can't get over. I mean, I can't get over how bad they did Ironheart, and I did like Shuri as Black Panther, but she still, I don't think, fits completely. She fits as a transitional character, but I don't think she fits the Black Panther mantle forever. So that being said, I think I'm going to give it a 6 out of 10, and middle of the road Marvel. And yeah, that's pretty much my thoughts on that. As for us, you can catch Derek's video on YouTube right now, his review of Godzilla versus Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, the comic. So make sure you check that out. Our unboxing video of the PS5 Collector's Edition for Gotham Knights, which we are also playing every Tuesday. So make sure to check us out on twitch.tv/NerdCage Live for that. As well as our playthrough of Donkey Kong 64 on Fridays.
Abso-freaking-lutely. Okay, so this is what y'all expecting from me. So 5.75 out of 10 from me. Okay, I've talked about what I didn't like and what was wrong with this movie, but that's not saying there's stuff I liked. Namor and Angela Bassett. I still love her, by the way. And M'Baku was still friggin' awesome. And of course, it has the emotional moments, but just because there's emotional moments doesn't make it a great film. I mean, look at Clerks 3. That was an emotional film, but I don't think it was that good.
How dare you, sir?
Godzilla versus Destroyer. Godzilla dies. It's an emotional moment, but that movie sucks. So, again, I'm not, just because there's a touching tribute doesn't automatically make this a good movie. But is it the worst of Marvel. Far from it. It's middle of the tier, but it is the best post-Endgame MCU movie, not counting Spider-Man, which is a Sony film. So
it's not better than Shang-Chi, relax.
Yes, it is. So
it's not better than Doctor Strange.
It's better than Eternals, better than Black Widow, it's better than Doctor Strange, better than Thor.
It's not.
It's the best post-Endgame MCU
You think
movie,
it's better? You
opinion.
think Black Panther 2 is better than Shang-Chi and Doctor Strange?
I'm sorry, what? Repeat that?
You think Black Panther 2 is better than Shang-Chi and Doctor Strange?
Absolutely, by far.
Oh, you're bugging.
By far. By far.
You, sir, are bugging. You are bugging. You are
We can
wild.
debate this all night. So I got a couple things I want to plug real quick. Thursday, we may, I'm saying likely, I want to do a Kevin Conroy reflection stream on Thursday. I would like to. If the stars align right, and if we can get some guests, we can talk about Kevin Conroy's career, because when we lost him, we lost the voice of my childhood. We lost easily one of the best.
We lost the voice of his generation. The voice of Batman.
The voice of Batman, and possibly one of the greatest Batman of all time. So, yeah, that took a toll on me. I would love to celebrate his career on NerdCage Live on Thursday, all things pending. But I'm going to say likely we'll do it. If we can get some guests on it, great. But also, I really want to plug this. Again, I haven't put a promo together, but I want to promote it right here, right now. Please mark your calendar for Saturday, December 17th at noon Eastern Standard Time. We're going to be doing a watch party marathon called Cheesy Movies for Charity, as we're going to be doing watch party of terrible movies as we try to raise money for St. Jude Children's Hospital. We're going to try to do a goal of $500, and we're going to be watching in order, starting at noon, Street Fighter the movie, with Jean-Claude Van Damme, classic. The beloved Superman 4, The Quest for Peace, shout out to Nuclear Man. Godzilla's Revenge, the movie that we love to hate, but I love it. God help me, Mortal Kombat Annihilation, and of course, Joe, please do your Mr. Freeze.
A freeze is coming.
The Ice Age, Batman and Robin. So yes,
always winterize your pipes.
we're gonna endure these terrible movies and raise money for St. Jude's Children's Hospital, December 17th. My God, please, even if you could just donate just $1,
Every little bit helps.
Every little bit helps, and maybe we'll do some kind of prize if you donate a lot. Okay, so the goal is $500, but I believe in NerdCage Nation. I believe in our audience, and I believe in a good cause, especially around for the holidays. I believe we can easily do $500 in one day. I really believe we can. If Titan Goji can do it, I believe we can do it too. And that's kind of where I kind of got this idea from. So, shout out to Titan Goji, and I hope he can partake in this stream. So again, thank you to everybody. Again, please sub up. New York State Music, fan art, Fisk Vegas Blue, General Fisk Vegas, all the Fisk Vegas channels, Willdband, Petty Cash Podcast. Please. These guys are amazing, and they're awesome dudes. So we please ask you to like, comment, subscribe, ring that bell, and spread that shit like syphilis. So to you, I say, from yours truly, Syracuse, New York, Albany, New York, Phoenix, Arizona, North Carolina, to all our friends around the world at NerdCage Live, New York State Music, Fisk Vegas, Willdband, Monstrosities. As always, enjoy life. Stay safe, eat your vegetables, do your push-ups, fuck math, and fuck that fucking dodo bird in Donkey Kong 64 with the rings there. That was a nightmare. And good night, everybody.
Adios.
Stick around for these awesome promos. Get us to 1,500 subscribers and get trapped in the cage, motherfuckers, because we're giving away an Xbox Series X.
Hey, what's going on? I'm Jay St. G.
And I'm Joe from FallenOne Gaming.
And we have a special message from NerdCage Live and NerdCage Live Gaming! Because we know a lot of y'all like the game, right? Well, we decided here at NerdCage that we wanted to give away something special. A big thank you. Not only a thank you, but we need your help too. Joe, what is it that we're giving away?
we are giving away an Xbox Series X.
Yes! Brand new! See? Right here, still sealed. We are giving this sucker away. But in order for us to give this away, we need your help. Get us to 1,500 subscribers and we will give this away.
If you guys get us to 1,500 subscribers, this can be all yours.
United States and Canada only. We're not shipping all over the world, all right?
Yeah.
So here's how this is gonna happen. Get us to 1,500 subscribers, and then we're gonna release another video on how you can enter. This is not gonna be the only giveaway. So the first prize, obviously, will be the Xbox Series X, brand new, shipped right to you. Second prize will be a digital $100 gift card from Amazon.
Third place will be a $50 digital Amazon card.
Now listen, if you get us to 1,500 subscribers, just maybe, we'll do another giveaway. 1,500 subscribers, and this bad boy can be yours. Keep it tuned to NerdCage Live when we release the second video on how to enter once we hit 1,500 subscribers.
NerdCage Live and gaming are a perfect match.
Shoot the J, Joe.
Okay.
Shoot it!
All right.
Over on NerdCage Live on Twitch, Jay and Joe go live.
Call me Bazooka Joe.
It's all about you.
Kaboom!
Playing both old school and new school games every Tuesday night. Ooh, what a sight!
Jay, stop looking at her face and run.
But she's so beautiful.
So be sure to follow NerdCage Live on Twitch.
Run for your life, Joe. Run for your life, Joe.
Running.
Run faster. Oh no, Joe. The galaxy's doomed because of you.
To scratch your gaming itch.
Oh, nice kick, Joe.
Thank you.
Yo, that's diabolical. Wait. Yo!
That's twitch.tv/NerdCage Live.
Ooh, trying to get out of the nerd cage, are ya? Well, before you go, hit that subscribe button. And if you're really intrigued, ring that bell. Thank you for dropping by. Until next time, tell everyone you know about NerdCage Live!